Alright, for number 11 it says, while playing pool, you shoot the 8 ball at the corner pocket as shown. Imagine that a coordinate plane is placed over the pool table, just as shown here, and that the 8 ball is at 6, 3. And we can see that. Oops. At 6, 3, we have the ball. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 3. It's right there. And then it says, at the pocket we're aiming for is 16, 6. If you count 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is the edge, up 6. We're aiming for this point right there. Right? And how are we going to do that? Well, we decided not to just go straight in. We're going to actually bank the ball or bounce the ball off the side at 10, negative 3. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, negative 3. We're trying to bounce it here and then hit it here. So we're hoping that it's going to make a V-shaped path. Maybe something like this. So a V-shaped path. And the thing about this reflection type things is I know that this has to be symmetrical. In fact, it's going to be a V shape exactly, just like an absolute value. So they're telling us that the equation of the ball is given as y is equal to 3 halves times the absolute value of x minus h plus k. So they didn't give us the full equation because they left out these numbers, the h and the k. And what do those represent? Remember, those represent our vertex. Our vertex. And so the first part of the question is really just asking us, can you complete this equation, right? Can we write the full equation that represents the path of this ball? And so the only thing that's missing is that vertex, which by looking now at this graph we just drew on here, we can find that vertex. It's the point of the V, or the lowest or highest point, which is right here, the point where we bank it. That's where it makes that curve, or that turn, that bounce. So what is that point again? That was the point 10, negative 3. So if I want to plug that back into here, remember it's always opposite on the inside, same on the outside. So we'll write it in here. And then I have x and then opposite inside. So if my inside is going to be, if it's 10, then opposite is going to be negative 10. Same on the outside, so negative 3, so minus 3. And there we go. First part's already done. Just plugging in our vertex just so we can get the full equation for the path of the ball. And then the second part says, do you make the shot? Well, what does that mean? If this is the path of the ball described by here, this is the equation of the path of the ball, I want to know is on this V, sure I drew it like this, but it may not be exactly right. Is this point here actually a point on the V? Or did I just draw it to make it look like it? So what does it mean to be a point on the V or the point on the graph? Remember, a point on a graph is the same thing as being a solution. Those mean the same thing again, right? And every time we say a point on a graph, it just means it's a solution. So when it's saying, do you make your shot, it's a fancy way of saying, is it a point on a graph? Or a fancy way of saying, is this 16, 6 right here, is that a solution to the equation we just wrote? So how do we take or figure out if it's a solution? Well, we just plug it in to our equation. So I'm going to write it off to the side here. And let's actually check that. So we can see, again, it says use complete sentences. So we can see if the ball will make it. If the pocket is a point on the path. We have to check if it's a solution, or we must check if it's a solution. So all we do is plug it in now. So we get y is equal to 3 over 2. X minus 10, our x is 16. And then we just work this out. So I'll make some more room for here. Alright, so now working this out, let's see what happens. I get y is equal to 3 over 2. 16 minus 10 is 6, which is obviously the absolute value of 6 is again 6. And when we're working with the fractions, remember, we can just think multiply it by the top, then divide afterwards by the bottom. That fraction just means division. So 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. And if we see, we get y is equal to 6. So if I plug in 16 for x, we get y is 6, which is exactly that point that we're looking for of 16 for x, 6 for y. That is a point, a solution on our graph. Since it's a solution, then we will make the graph. We will make the shot. So since it's a solution, I will make the shot. And that's it.